All right. Okay, so just for those who are listening to the recording, this is the part of our exploration get together call about the next Advanced Deep Dive Coach training, which I'm totally um, redoing. Everybody else who's on, don't worry because we'll just send out the speaker version. So you only see me. And so mostly this call is for me to hear from the people who are here and also the people listening. What do you want? What is your wish list? I already got a brilliant idea from one person who spoke. So basically, I am rethinking everything about the Advanced Deep Dive Coach certification, other than the content, which is still current and amazing, but that I'm going to add to in terms of the structure. So I want to hear from the people who are interested because I want to co-create it with you. And it's part of sort of an evolving of myself, really, as a coach and in my business, which is um, I want to become much more, I want my whole business to feel much more sort of open and casual and informal and me as person, me as coach. It's always been the same, but I also sort of had like a positioning and a branding to kind of maintain. And I just don't want to do that anymore. I just want to be like, here I am, come on in. And I want every meeting to feel like we're hanging out in my living room. And if I feel like doing it from outside, I want to do it from outside. I love, people are showing up with wherever they are. So it started that way, and it really stemmed from some of the people I'm learning from, which I will teach all about in my deep dive coach training. And one is in her 80s, one's in her 70s. Neither of them have ever had any filler or Botox, I promise you. They don't show up dressed. There's one, I don't know, she's probably in her 60s. Literally, her background is, it looks like a garage sale. Like it literally is distracting. And I'm watching this, and these are people who've been in the field for years and years and years, and they spend all their energy on actual practice and learning and teaching, and like none of it on marketing and Insta. I mean, some of them are definitely are on Instagram, but like that's not their focus. And how I just love them. And so it's sort of given me permission to it's just another way, right? When I was just learning from Brooke actually started off very casual. When I started with her, she was all about sort of just like sweats or whatever. And then she sort of developed this kind of positioning. And then I just sort of followed her because she was my teacher. And so then that's why I love, the idea of exposing ourselves to lots of teachers because as I started to watch these people and feel a kinship to them, and now the life coach was closed down, so it's really opened the way for me. That's what I'm realizing. Our presence, and this is not from me, our primary directive is connection. That's from Steve Porges. And I think it might have been him who says the presence is the therapy. So I would just want to break down any barriers to my presence. So that's kind of sort of was the start of this, where I wanted to be not so much like the sort of authority who's like on the stage teaching you. I just want to like hang out with you. And still, I am obviously the expert of deep dive coaching and the creator of it. And you'll get all of that just in a way that feels much more open and certainly for the structure to be collaborative. So I've been learning, oh my gosh, the last 2 to 3 years, I've been immersing myself in polyvagal theory, no, not RPNB. It's like relational neurobiology, interpersonal neurobiology, the nervous system, and realizing that my coaching brought all of that in because of the experiences I'd had with coaching and therapy that I integrated, but I didn't actually like know so much of the application of it. So I very much would teach how to connect with yourself and your intuition in order to bring in more of the processing and even to bring in more questions that were unscripted. And not everybody has the same access to the intuition. We work on that a lot in deep dive coach certification, but now I'm also going to be able to bring in a more formalized way of doing it. And we tried that actually last year, DDC Day in Toronto was called Creating a Blueprint for Emotional Processing. And I did 3 different samples, and then the tables put together what they thought was the blueprint. Each table was so different for each sample that it was literally impossible to find any system that we could do. So I'm going to bring that now. I was was like a fun experiment, and people got what they got. But I'm going to bring that for you now. And it's actually based not on something that I made up, which is amazing. Okay, so basically we have our 6 modules, which we've always had, which I created. I went through them. They're still very relevant. We'll keep those. And then I want to add in extra teachings, which will be specifically on formalizing processing and also more of the background, more of the stuff I've learned. For some of you, it will be new, some it won't. It's always going to be in relation to how do we coach better, always. So formalizing the processing, how to blend processing with our conversational coaching. Some clients really just don't want to process. Some love the conversational, but what I'm learning more and more is our brain can understand it and love it. If it doesn't, if our body is resisting and our nervous system is resisting, it's never going to change. So what do? We don't want to call our clients resistant to processing, or, one of my alums will come, they'll go, they refuse to do processing. They don't have to do processing, but we want to know, how do we blend the body in so we can help our clients move forward, and how to help clients make the work stick? What inner resources can we give them to make the work stick? Okay, so that's one change. We're going to expand that. The other thing is, I always have said in my application, you had to check, I understand this is not a business coaching course, which it's not a business coaching course, but I realized it's a little misleading because a lot of my DDCs will improve their business based on coaching they get in DDC on their business. And that's because often what's in the way, because really all the stuff you learn in most courses, it's kind of all the same, and it's kind of all available free online, right? And so what's missing is the reason I'm not doing it, which you certainly can get if your business coach is that way inclined, but many are not. And so that's what we do in DDC. So for example, we do a lot of coaching on consults. People will, I don't like the script, it doesn't feel like me, blah, blah, blah. So we find a way for them to run an initial meeting. I hate the word consult. Initial meeting with their potential client in a way that feels like them. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I just signed. And then I signed another one. And oh my gosh, I feel amazing. So also, we'll deal with other things like, I'm exhausted at the end of coaching. I'm drained. And then again, we deal with that. So what I want to say is, it's going to be longer. I'm thinking 9 months, and it will include your own personal coaching and also any business coaching or building that you want. And I don't know if we'll have separate classes for that, or people will just bring whatever they want. We might have a channel for it. So I don't give advice, because I think all the advice is available to you. I mean, ChatGPT basically has access, right, to every business book, every building sales book, every PR book, marketing. ChatGPT can give you advice, but we definitely in DDC will figure out what's in the way of me doing it, or which part of this advice is me, which isn't, all that stuff. So I think I want to make that clear that for the time we're doing it, honestly, this will be your coaching, both business and personal. Another thing I'm changing, before I required students to have paying clients in order to join. But then I realized through the years and through dealing with my alum and my coaches, DDC is what enables you to get clients, because you become so much more confident, not fake confident. I think it's very hard to sell from fake confidence. But once you become truly confident, then that is a very attractive kind of energy to bring. So I'm removing that. Okay. I am thinking of a 9-month program. It used to be 3 months. Then we added an extra month, but I'm thinking I like the spaciousness of more time to practice. So starting the end of October, we have Jewish holidays until the last week of October. So I think we'll start after that, and then we'll go to the end of May or June. And I'm thinking we'll do the reason I was hesitant to do a longer program is I can't really schedule that much in advance, because I have 4 children, they're adults, things come up with them that I want to always share with them, and I don't want that to be a barrier. So I thought, okay, but this is going to be us co-creating and flexible. So maybe we would schedule the first 3 months. Maybe we'd say Wednesdays. I'm thinking Wednesdays works for me as a day, and probably we would do midday to a bit later to accommodate the Pacific people and also the Europeans. So maybe we would say, okay, that everybody just like block that off as much as you can for the 9 months, but it's not guaranteed that there'll be a call every week. But you'll definitely know for the next 2 months or 3 months. And then we'll say, how's it going? And I'm thinking 90-minute classes because I find an hour just never feels enough to practice coaching and also discuss things because that's what we'll do in these classes. You'll get the info. Some of it I'm going to teach new info, but mostly we're just going to coach, coach, coach. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to give you feedback. Other people might dive in. We'll just see how it goes. I want it to feel very alive. So I'm thinking 90-minute classes. Some of you won't be able to come for the entire 90 minutes. Not a problem. You say, I can only come for this 30-minute segment. Can I please get coached or practice coaching then? And yes, as long as somebody else didn't ask first, the answer is yes. All of it is infinitely flexible. For me, I'm naturally infinitely flexible. So I used to have these sort of like fake rigidities in the course. And now I'm taking them all away. It could be after 3 months, we all go, we don't like this 90-minute thing on a Wednesday. Can we rather have longer, less often, or could we have a break, or whatever we want? We will do it, but it'll be what I offer you, what you sign up for, unless everyone agrees. Because I don't want you to think, well, I'm going to agree to this, and then she's going to change it. I'm going to hate the next thing. Okay. The other thing I'm going to introduce this time, it's optional, but I think you could do it, is listening partners. I have never in my trainings included peer coaching because I always thought, like I personally, I don't want a peer coach. I like to hire a coach that I choose. And so I just sort of put that on to my trainings. But now there's this new idea that I'm learning. It's not a new idea. It's from focusing. That's where this process that I'm telling you about, which I realize now is what I was doing and teaching, but I didn't have the formalities. There's this idea of listening partners where you basically meet up with a partner just to develop your skills of listening with your entire body and all your senses. It's amazing. And you can't really do any harm with it, but also I'll be there. So we'll find a way for you to report on how it went. And if somebody doesn't like their partner, they'll get another partner. But I do want to include that, and I think it will be a very, very special relationship. What else? Okay, so those are all the things I'm thinking. Like I said, I'll bring in some of my DDCs to these classes. I was doing small groups with the DDCs. We will not be doing that. I'm going to be teaching all this. It's basically going to be a beta with all of us involved in it. So the things that will remain the same, we have a Slack that we will have just for our group initially, and then you move into the alum Slack, and that just stays. I love it. Some people don't love written coaching, and so we will figure out together, can you just leave a voice note to ask for coaching? Yes, people are doing my alum. For me personally, I like written because I can quickly read it. Like I'll address a written coaching request quicker than an audio one. So I was thinking we'll say, yes, post an audio, but also get ChatGPT to transcribe and post a transcription just for me. But we can go back and forth that way. And if other people want to respond with voice, we'll do that. I'm moving more into that as I realize how many people just don't love written coaching. I love it. So for me, it's amazing. So you'll have that during that intimate group, and then you'll go into the alum group when it finishes, and that goes on forever. What will stay is I do monthly calls with my alum coaches. I totally love them. They're an hour. I think I might make them longer because as we get bigger, more people are wanting coaching. And I always have to balance it with how much can people commit to and how much can we get done. Other perks are often if I'm running an event, my DDCs get first access, like first chance, and sometimes they fill just with that. Sometimes it's discounted for DDCs, but it's not always. This year will be our second year of an annual DDC day, which I started because whenever there were life coach school in-person events, I would always get together with my DDCs. So it was always social, like a cheese and wine or a restaurant or something. And then LCS closed. So now the last 2 years, I've had it after my club day. So obviously not all DDCs can come, and there is a small cost for it just to cover costs. So it's not guaranteed, but I love it. So as long as we keep doing something, then I'll probably keep doing that. What else do I want to tell you? Okay, so I said Wednesdays. The other thing, okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to do a beta cost because this is the first time, and I'm thinking it'll be 13,000 for the 9 months. There will be an option for payment plans, whatever you want. Basically, these days, I just accept any payment plan I want. I have somebody who is still paying, I think, for the last one, and it was, I don't know, it was over a year ago. So my ideal is that you're done paying in a year. So about like 1,000. There'll be a cost to apply for sure. And I'm going to make it, I don't know, maybe you'll give me feedback. I was thinking it's usually 2,000 to apply. And then, of course, if I don't accept you, then you get it back. But if you choose not to take the acceptance, you don't get it back. It's only refundable if we say no. So that's important to note. And I'm thinking that I might offer it soon, like especially for you guys. I might just offer it to the interest list. We sent out one email. We got, I think, 27 or 28 people, and I think that would be an ideal number. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm fine to do this with a small number. I'm totally fine with it. But if it's bigger, then we'll adjust. So I think that probably how I'll do it is I'll say 2,000 for the deposit. I'm just thinking aloud and I want your feedback to apply. And if you get accepted, I'll invite you to DDC Day, which is June 24th. So it's very soon. So that's why I think I'll start it quickly to give you time. Now, some of you are already coming to Club Day or Day of Safety. And so you already have the plan. So it'll be easier to just plop in, and others, you might live near me or it might be completely unavailable to you. But I only have, out of like 150, I think I only have less than 20 DDCs coming. So not everyone comes, but we record the entire thing and it all goes onto the DDC website, which you have access to forever. So that's what I'm thinking in terms of cost, in terms of monthly meetings. You get a beautiful website. Get a ton of stuff on the website. So you get a login and you get access to, obviously our calls will be on there. And we have a lot of resources. We have, I had a few years where I would invite guests to do workshops, and the workshops were always modalities that connect you to your body one way or another. So that'll all be there. I don't do it anymore because I feel like we have such a lot now. People love it. So you get that. I had 2 meditations made. I commissioned them for my deep dive coaches. Amazing. A longer one, love, and then a 10-minute one to help you prepare for your day. So you get that. We have case studies. I used to do, I'm not going to do it this time, 3 case studies because we have a lot. And I would do one, and then I would have DDCs do one. So you get all of that just to get a flavor of it. There's a ton. It's a ton of stuff on the website. And then you get the modules, the 6 modules, which will drip out to you. And yeah, so you get access to that. What else can I tell you? I think that's all I wanted to tell you. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to now turn off the recording because I want for you to just be able to speak freely, knowing that you're not going to be recorded. And I'm just going to end with, if anybody's listening to this recording and has input for me on what is your dream, what's your yearning, what made you interested in this, and what would be your dream come true in terms of the structure and what's offered, what do you hate doing, send it all to me. I'm just going to mush it all together and it's going to come out as this unbelievable training. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my